All right, so we want to welcome you to our session today. We are going to be talking about creating a future one job at a time, how career days can be done in grades K through 12, giving our kids a vision for careers, the future, and jobs within your community.
I'm Brittany Carr.
I'm Danielle Roderick.
And I'm Jessica Chambers. We are from Catlettsburg Elementary in Sevierville, Tennessee. I currently teach fourth grade and I work as the STEM coordinator.
I'm Brittany Carr. This is my 11th year teaching, and I am the STEM technology teacher.
And I'm Danielle Roderick. This is my 15th year teaching. I teach fourth grade, and I'm the robotics coordinator.
So we thought this quote was very impactful because as a community, we have built this vision. We have built it for all students in a K-12 setting, and we know that together we are so much stronger, but we can do so much with our students as we collaborate across grade levels and across buildings.
So here's an look of what we are doing in our presentation, and we will get through all of this throughout our meeting.
So we told you a little bit about who we are. We're from Catlettsburg, and we are within multiple roles within our building. And as you can see, this is a picture of a space that we have built in the last year. We have developed our wonderful three-man team. We have brought STEM to our school and helped raise over $50,000 to build not only this STEM program, but this shared space for our students to create an interactive environment where they can be critical thinkers and problem solvers. So we're going to start with why CTE, the why behind our career days. Do you know what your students want to be? Or stopped and asked them? And do you get the answers like, I want to be an NFL star. I want to be a YouTuber. I want to be the quarterback for the Saints. I want to be an influencer. We got those answers, and our assistant principal was just kind of troubled by that. She was very troubled by the fact that they wanted to be things that are real jobs that real people do, but the likelihood that our students were going to find themselves in that position from East Tennessee was limited. And we wanted them to know what our community has to offer, what they can experience, not only in our school, but in other schools with the CTE program. And we wanted them to see our community for the opportunities that it gives. So myself and Brittany and two other administrators from our building were invited to join the leadership cohort. And part of that was going to local high schools and seeing their CTE program. And we went to Sevier County High School where they offer 14 programs. Now, as someone who has been teaching for 15 years and is in my 30s, when you say CTE or vocational, I think, well, they just didn't want to go to college. And that wasn't the case. That is not the case anymore. And so going into these rooms, it really kind of took that stigma away from it for us and showed us not only the woman who runs these programs is incredibly passionate. She is driven for her students, she is driven for the community, but she created in us a passion for, oh my gosh, like our kids need to see this. They need to see, what CTE is about, and we need to fix the parents. We need to fix this, oh, well, they just, they couldn't get into college, they didn't want to go to college. No, these are careers where you are naming, your income. You are seeing, oh my gosh, I could go work at this theater and be in marketing. And we wanted to put into action a way to give them the CTE experience from kindergarten to sixth grade. But we also wanted to partner with the high school so those students could come in and teach what they were learning. And so we met with our feeder high school, Northview Academy, and we sat down with our CTE teachers and we shared this with them. And we shared that we wanted them to come and we wanted them to educate our students. We wanted to bring businesses in. And we wanted those businesses to share with our students, what kind of school do you need? What kind of experience do you have to have? How much money can you make? Where could you relocate to? And give them those real life answers to jobs within our community. We wanted them to have that exposure. We wanted them to see, culinary arts, criminal justice, from the people that are in those professions, people that they may know personally, people they may respect, but also to show them that our high school students are learning these things right now so that they can walk straight into a trade, straight into a skill with partnerships in our community. And those are real life jobs that apply to things that they are interested in as kindergarten through 6th grade students. So we took that vision, and our assistant principal went to the high schools and she presented. And to know her is to know that she is absolutely going to get what she wants. She currently wants chickens. She hasn't gotten those yet, but she was after those career day options. She was after letting our students know what reality looked like and what was accessible to them. She went, and the high school was absolutely on board. 100%. Every administrator, every CTE teacher was excited to be here. And the next step was stepping out into the community.
So our career days are truly student-centered. We did come up with some ideas with them in mind. They helped us create ideas, and that helped us create our days, again, with our CTE program at our local high school. We also sought out careers in our community through our local Rotary Club. We've sought out careers in our parents and then just community members that we know. And they were generous enough to come to our school and present an activity in their career field that the students could participate in and see if that's a career choice that they would like. But the students also got to choose on a Google form 3 to 4 careers that they would be interested in, and then they got to go to that career to experience the activity.
So some of the activities they got to experience are actually behind us. So we had criminal justice come. She sent us with lots of fun things. But the one thing that the students got to experience that they loved is we had things like when they came for criminal justice, they talked about DUIs and criminal charges. So they got to do drunk goggles and drug goggles. And if you've ever tried to walk in these, you now know why the kids thought it was hilarious, because you fall all over the place. But they also got to do activities with our medical examiner's office where they had to put germs on their hands and it lights up and glows. And they got to see the impact of viruses in our community, things that they see every day, and how they can help stop those. We also got to do fingerprinting. So they got to see fingerprinting and see how that would be done in a criminal justice setting. We've had careers, doctors' offices bring in x-ray machines, and a variety of activities. These were just some of the ones that we could bring to show you today.
They also did a crime scene where the teachers set up a crime scene, and they had to like help investigate it and clean up, I think, like the blood, and there was like caution tape and all the stuff. My personal kids came back and told me all about it on the car ride home from school that day. So it was great. And that was not one of their passions for a career, but I think it kind of interested them to maybe want to look down that route. So what career days look like? So the assistant principal, myself, Jessica, we kind of sit down, we talked about here's the interest from our students, here's the interest in what's available from our community, and here are the resources from Northview Academy, and kind of split up our 600 and some odd children, give or take, how are we going to do this? So we sat down, we decided that we needed to do a little kid career day and a big kid career day, because obviously the big kids can do a little more and are a little more and kind of know what path they want to go, and can be a little more involved with what they were doing. So we started in September. We had our first one, and it was a K2. So we did a K2 one. They did ducks was the first one, and they did 15-minute rotations to see each of the trucks. They blew horns. They saw tractors. They saw the electric company lift up their bucket, I guess, yes, for the bucket men. I don't know exactly what that's called. But so they got to do that. Then they got to come in and they did an hour doing a craft about that. And then they spent an hour doing recess just to give everybody their rotation. And then we took them to lunch. From there, I think it was like the next week we did the 3-6. And so with 3-6, we don't need as many people from the community because we have the CTE program, and they can work better with the older kids. So from there, we did hour-long rotations with some of community members, but mostly Northview Academy CTE kids and their professors or teachers. So they did 4-hour rotations, or 4-hour rotations within that day from their choice from the Google Meet. Presenters usually set up, as you can see, between 8 and 8:30. We try to get started between 8:30 and 9 because the day does go by very quickly. Then they present for a little while. We take them to lunch, and then usually the last was about an hour, hour and a half of the day. They're back in their classrooms talking to their teachers about what they did. And we've already decided that next year, when they go back to their classroom, we're going to make them do some sort of writing prompt to tie in some classroom skills along with like what they've done and what they would like to do different and all of those things from there. With the little kids, we thought we could still do a writing prompt, maybe make it like a sentence, but also do like a craft. I know for the emergency services, we had this activity where we printed off all the different services and we wrote little notes to the fire department and to the nurses and to the police officers and the armed services, armed forces or whatever. And we actually got to deliver those to those people that presented with us, and they thought that was a big hit.
So you may be thinking during this time, what are the classroom teachers doing? And Danielle and I are in a 4th grade classroom. So while Brittany is helping run all of these events and making sure that they go smoothly, we are in the classroom meeting with our team. Every teacher that is free that day, we are required to provide an agenda where things we discuss. Do you have a field trip? Do you need to plan a curriculum? Are you going to look at standards? And we don't spend the entire 4 hours together, but we do spend time together kind of planning and collaborating. And then we break down into our individual teams. So Danielle and I are a team. So if we are working on a novel study, if we're working on a project, we do a lot with fossils. So during that unit, we were looking at, okay, well, what day works best for this? And it gives an individual time not only to look at their curriculum and their standards, but also to kind of plan ahead, make those copies, do those things that are vital to make the classroom run effectively, but also those things that help us as educators so that we're not here till 10 o'clock every night.
So again, we just want to reiterate that our career day came from our students, things that they were interested in, and then they get to choose what they want to see on their career day.
So as you can see for some of the pictures, Danielle and I are part of a PBL partnership with Severe Solid Waste. We got to go there, and I know that walking around a trash plant doesn't sound like fun, but it was a learning experience. We had some true buy-in of just getting to experience what that career does for our community. We had First Responder Day, and I loved this one personally because my little brother was the K-9 officer that got to come, and it made my heart happy that I've got students that I never had in the classroom stopping by to be like, that was your brother, and that was his dog, and that was so cool, and I'm going to do that when I grow up. And it really just for, wow, I really like that. We had Sports and Broadcasting Day where we had 16 people, everything from radio stations to Parrot Mountain, and our students got to see even staff members from here in different careers throughout those days.
And that one we did as a big culminating activity with every kid in the building. So all hands were on deck. The teachers got to be involved, and we did 6 different 30-minute rotations that day, and that was a big scheduling fiasco, but it turned out awesome, and I think everybody enjoyed the day. I think the teachers actually got to see in perspective like what their kids were actually doing and how much they actually loved it, and I think the teachers loved it just as much, if not more, than the kids did that day. Just seeing different people come in and just how excited they were and passionate about their jobs and how excited our kids were to see and be a part of all of that.
Now we're going to share with you a video our assistant principal made that is just some culminating pictures and descriptions of events that took place on that day. not know that we were sharing the same quote, but that just goes to show you that we are all very much on the same page as we go through this vision together.
And I know from like the parent side of this, my kids got to see people that they have seen out in the community, personal friends of ours, personal friends of both of theirs that they have seen actually not just being a friend or a person in the community, actually like talking about their job and being in uniform, and they can put that real life connection together that, oh, that's not just Uncle so-and-so, or that's not, you know, Daddy's friend, so-and-so, or that's not somebody's mom or dad. That's actually, this is what they're doing on top of being someone's mom, dad, uncle, or friend.
And these are people we recruited everywhere. And we're going to talk about that here in a second. But like one of the people we had come on broadcasting day was Sammy Hagar's music manager. And our assistant principal literally met her sitting in an operation waiting room while her husband had shoulder surgery. They kind of hit it off, sitting beside each other for several hours, having a conversation. And at first her answer was no. You know, I don't have time. My schedule is very busy. She's worked for Morgan Wallen. She said several people. I'm trying to think because I didn't go to that one. But she got to experience, you know, all these different music artists and different things. And as the day went on and as the conversation went on, she was like, oh, okay, I'll make time for you. Let me come on down. And she really was just so much fun, is already planning how to come back next year. So those connections are really found anywhere.
So here are a list of people that we just had this year getting it off the ground literally in, I think, 3 months, from the time that we went in May till we started in August. We recruited from parent events, the Rotary Luncheon that we went to, the Title I meetings that we hold at school, social media posts. We have Facebook and Instagram here at our school, the stakeholders meeting, and just staff connections. At first, we didn't really open it up to that. We didn't even see that as a perspective, but then parents started asking, hey, I do this, or I know this person, and we were like, well, why not? That makes it easier on us than trying to come up with this list of people to come and reach out to. So with that, we already have personal partnerships with our local water park, Soaky Mountain, the Northview Academy, a couple of the different police departments, the fire and EMS, the local waste management group, different crafters within our community, the national park system, the entertainment industry, radio stations, the local attractions, and then sports and athletics from local colleges. And we were able to reach out to 2 or 3 different colleges, I believe, just on the whim of asking people to do that. And so that was very helpful. We're hoping to expand this list next year. I know we've already had some people that said, hey, I want to come. Hey, I want to be a part of that. So we're looking forward to all of the opportunities that next year will bring to make it bigger and better. And I know that our students are already wondering when the next career day is. So we're going to have to get that going, which we already kind of have a list started and a kind of a plan. And it does take lots of people to get this going. And sometimes they just don't show up and you have to back up and punt, or sometimes stuff comes up and you just have to figure out what to do. And everybody this year was very gracious with that, and like helped and filled in and helped come up with a craft when we didn't plan on doing a craft or something like that. So it's been, like I said, very time consuming, but very beneficial, I believe, for everybody, and everybody's saw the benefits of it.
But we also know we've got to start planning now. If you look in the top left-hand corner, there's that's our first flyer for next year. We're going to be doing crafters, but we took this from the most basic of interactions. Danielle has a relationship with Soaky Mountain, and with that lesson, share a little bit about like what you did and how we built that relationship with them.
Sure. So we found out that our local water park, the manager of the water park, did science lessons. So we were talking about force and motion, and he came to our classroom and taught about that and how water slides are force and motion in action. And the kids loved it. He has a great personality. He gets along with the kids really well. So it was a lot of fun, and he wanted to come back. So that's a partnership that is continuing on for a while. He's already looking at coming next year and being involved with more PBLs. So
And he actually gave us the general manager of another water park, and that general manager does not enjoy speaking to children, but after he heard of our great success, was very eager to kind of join us as we, hopefully next year, one of our days will be like Battle of the Parks. So we'll have the two parks displaying the careers that are available, but also competing to design water park or water slides like they do in Danielle's classroom, to design those and let the kids kind of compete who's got the best water slide, but also letting them vote on rides and attractions here in the community so that they can see that not only are these careers available, but it also goes into those fun activities that they do in the summer with their families. So right here is a whole lot of QR codes. You will see the Google form that Danielle created that shares.
So this is for the parents. We wanted to know what career they were involved with and if they would be interested in giving their time to come to a career day.
Then you're going to see the presentations for local high schools. You'll see the one that has this video attached, as well as the presentation given kind of at the end of the year. But then the other one you're going to see is the beginning of the year, and that was where we really created the buy-in, where we got those high schools to be on board, where we got them to understand kind of our big picture, how we wanted to go from just being a K-6 school, but building a K-12 curriculum for CTE and careers in our community.
Then you will see the scheduling QR code, which just gives a glimpse into how we scheduled, how our rotations went, and then you can make that fit best to your school and your grade levels and the way you want your days to look.
And then our donor presentation just gives you some insight into some of the businesses that we partner with. We currently have created more partners for computer science. The space that we are in right now is a shared space where we have had donors help donate money and donate supplies, and that fed directly into our career day opportunities. That's where we pull a lot of those people from. So you'll see in this presentation, you're going to see everything from Farm Bureau to Swaggerty Sausage. And those are just people in our community that either the three of us knew personally or we went and knocked on doors. The Rotary Luncheon that we mentioned that we went to, we prepared this presentation. They made it look wonderful. I ordered lots of cookies, and we went only to find out that you had to pay for the room and you had to pay for the entire day. But in taking a chance on that and in our mess up of creating all these big things, only for them to be like, hey, you didn't buy the room, like you don't get to speak. We got to stand at the door and hand out our cookies. And that may seem silly, but we literally had probably 20 business cards from going to this Rotary Luncheon and just saying, hey, we're an elementary school, like we would like your help. And Danielle made connections with Salvation Army. Brittany made connections with airplane pilots. I had a Tennessee Wood Flooring connection that was previously there that I was able to explore with their marketing director. And it really just helped us kind of put ourselves out there. So you're going to see a lot of it in these presentations. And if you have any questions, we have our doc cards linked. We will be adding 2 more to that. So hopefully you'll see all 3. But if you have any questions or comments, we are more than happy to help. We want you to make this usable in your school and in your community, but also we would love to hear your career day successes in the future, not only in STEM, but in the careers in your community. And here's the QR code for everything we've presented today. Like we said, if you have any questions, comments, just let us know, and we are here to help.
Thanks. Thank you.
Thank you so much.